Robert back here. Picked up my first Thermos Mil speck lantern. So let's tear into this thing, see what we got. Okay, this was listed online as a Coleman lantern, which it does look just like a Coleman lantern. Same style, same design. All these companies use the same print, but this is actually a Thermos. Got a pretty good deal on it. I'm happy with it, but as you can see, it's dirty. I'm going to take this thing apart. First thing I want to do is take off that generator and soak it in acetone, because if they've run unleaded fuel in it, it's probably going to be gummed up. So I want to get that off first thing and get it in acetone. And I really like that mantle that's on there. Let's see it for the light. Got a pretty good weave. So I'm going to try to save that for now. I'm not going to tear this lantern completely down if I don't have to. I'm hoping I can just clean that generator. It probably don't even need it, but if I'm going to go ahead and get it soaking just on the safe side and see if we can get this thing far up with the fuel that's in it. Maybe got a little bit in it. Parts well. Got all the goodies in it. Doesn't look like it's ever been taken out. Still sealed in the extra fuel cap seal. Should have the pricker tool for cleaning the generator and a couple of extra pricker needles in there too. Probably another pump leather gasket also. But I don't want to tear into that. I want to leave that as is. The ventilator has a real thick haze on it. Almost looks like an old wax or something on it, and I don't want to burn it with that on there. So before I light this thing, I am going to see if I can polish that off there. You can see it's coming off really well. Okay, you don't have to worry about this 4/0 steel wool. It's not going to harm that ventilator paint in any way. That's porcelain enamel baked on there. That stuff is rock hard. I mean, this steel wool is not going to phase that. I mean, it will polish it really good. It's a 4/0 steel wool. I'll turn off this vent nut. It's really tight, so I'm gonna wrap a piece of leather around it to protect the nut. Try not to get my pliers into the ventilator. These mil spec caps, the vent nut is kind of got a flare fitting in there. It's attached permanently, spins. No chance of losing it in the field. Really good design. All the quadrant glass looks to be in good shape. Don't see any cracks or chips anywhere yet. Okay, like I said, I want to get this generator off here first thing and get it soaking in acetone. If there's any gummed up varnish in there from unleaded fuel, kerosene, or whatever they've tried to burn in this, it will be dissolving that, hopefully. Okay, looks like it's going to be a 9/16 wrench. pull up on the flare nut, kind of twist, and be careful, try not to hit that mantle. Like I said, I want to try to burn that. Just keep working it. Okay, there's the mil spec generator. These don't have the cleaning needle in them. The fuel is just forced up from the pressure through the tube, and it drips down into the mantle. Vaporizes. So I'm going to remove the tip from that so you can get to soaking. As you can see, it's got some kind of a packing in there, probably asbestos. But actually, that's Snow White. Couldn't have been used much. Tell you what, instead of acetone, I don't think there's anything in it. I'm just gonna soak it in some Coleman fuel while I'm polishing up the rest of this, and I'm thinking this thing's gonna fire up as is. Remove that tip. Tell you what, let's just test this real quick. Just spray some carb cleaner in here. To soak into that packing. Just see if any of that will blow through there. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that generator. Do that one more time. Put that tip back on there. Wrong with that. Let's just set that off to the side. Okay, it's been a couple of years since I've had one of these mil specs apart, so you all got to bear with me here. I'm going to try to learn this all over again. I think we can just loosen that. Okay, so we got that loosened. That's an oddball size. I'm going to use an adjustable wrench. Cage burner frame is in really good shape. Okay, I'm missing the funnel, broken off of it. I'm going to reach back here and remove the fuel cap so we can lift the collar off. I have to remove the directional disc and valve wheel. I really hate, I cannot stand to destroy a perfectly good mantle, but I want to clean this up. That burner tube is really rusty, and I really want to get in there clean it up. So she's got to go. If we're going that far, might as well go to a complete teardown. Okay, I'm going to dump this fuel out of here before I attempt this next part. Definitely got the smell of rug in it. Alright, ran out of kerosene. My shop was starting to get a little cold. I had to refill it. Alright, I've dumped the fuel from this. I'm going to use this micro torch just to concentrate the heat on the bung. Remove the fuel air tube. The way these things work, got a rod, the spring in it, runs down through here. You can see it sticking out the end there. When you crack that valve a quarter a turn, that rod will lift up and allow raw fuel to suck up through the tube to first light your generator. And once it warms up, you open the valve all the way and it will push that rod back down and seal off that end, and it will start sucking the fuel, a little bit of fuel through there, and then the proper amount of air, more air going through there. Stretch just a little life back in the spring. We'll get that in the there, so it'll turn out by hand. That don't happen often. Alright, you can see these things don't have a burner screen in them. So that's one of the reasons they're so much louder than most other lanterns. I'm going to get all this soaking in vinegar. Just going to let it soak in vinegar. I'm not going to boil it. It's not in that bad a shape. It won't take long to clean that up at all. Go ahead and turn off that pump assembly. That's extremely dry, and I do mean really dry, but don't think it's hurt. Got all my other parts soaking in vinegar. I've got the pump leather soaking in neat's foot oil. Remove the air stem. Get out the old handy dandy check valve tool. It's rattling. That's the old style check valve, like the one I recently done in my old 30s model 228B. There's my pump leather and fuel cap seal, all that good stuff, all bundled up in here. It should have extra say that's the pump leather in that one. That's going to be the extra crickers. Turn that open. The extra of those. Get that to focus. Everything's still taped up and the masking tape never been open. Gotta go back in the same way once I get this cleaned up. There was just a little light surface rust in there. That took care of that. Okay, it's got a few minor chips around where that collar was over tightened on that paint. Other than that, it's in really decent shape. I don't know if I mentioned, this is a 1963 Malcolm, Illinois. Okay, whatever that waxy film was seems to have washed off pretty good with the glass and chrome cleaner. But we'll take another look at it when it dries and see what it looks like. Not bad for a 1963. Good old trustworthy Mother's Mag. Got the rod and the spring back in the fuel pickup tube. Thread that back in. Didn't put my wrench up and misplaced it. Tighten that back down. 5-volt thread locker. Okay, I think this thing had been apart before. I took pictures of it the way it was clocked, but mine was clocked right over top of the pump stem. But all the pictures I've looked at on the internet, some of them were clocked wrong, but the majority of them were clocked just to the left of it there. So that's where I'm clocking this one. Collar back on. Okay, I got the cage back on. I'm gonna slide this back in. I didn't mention, but when you put that air tube back in there, always make sure your slant of the generator is pointing out. You don't want it pointing toward the air tube because it will fit either direction. It's got to point out. Now we can put the generator nut back on. Drop the generator through the hole in the top. Lift up on the nut. Just keep playing with the generator till you get it to sit right down in flush on that flare fitting. thread the burner tube back on. Probably been easier to do when I had that apart. Wrap a piece of leather around that. Gently turn it. Get done it. I'm going to go ahead and preheat this generator some. Okay, I'm going to crack the valve until I hear some fuel gurgling. Right now I'm just hearing air. Don't hear it, but we're going to try it. Turn the valve back off. I'm going to crack it just a second. Close it back off. Warm it again. Close it back off. We are with the lights out. Nice and bright. Alright, you all know the routine. Like, share, subscribe. God bless. You all hear what these things do when you shut them down, where they don't have a burner screen in them. It will continue to do that till all the fuel burns out of the generator.